And the warming up for badminton here at Austrian Open for the first time ever. We follow the time rules very strictly, which means after each set you have 3 minutes time to be on the next court, and then 3 more times to warm up, 3 more minutes. So total, after 6 minutes after a set is over, the next set starts.
So Eliasson takes 11 points in his favor into this second set. Marcel, is badminton the best discipline of Lenggenhager?
Yeah, he's a very uncomfortable player. Yeah. First of all, he's a badminton specialist, but also he's a left-hander. So this will be a really tough game for Magnus. He's not bad in badminton, but I doubt that he will have a chance against Nicolas. But Magnus is always focused on every point, on the next point. So no matter what the score, he will take a couple of points, that's for sure.
Well, that's an impressive start by the Swiss man.
Yeah, and he can smash. If he gets the chance, he will smash the points, that's for sure.
Well, Magnus is ready to take the competition, with Nicolas Lenggenhager, of course, being the favorite. But we've seen many favorites fall in the past. It's going to be very important to get some of those easy points.
Lenggenhager is 4-seeded, so he can't be a bad player. But the advantage of Magnus is that nobody knows him here. I'm the only player in the whole draw who's ever met him. All the others are far too young. They know him as a legend, but not as a player. So
that sounds dangerous. They know him as a legend, but not as a player.
Yeah, Magnus was one of the first players in the Hall of Fame. He's a 3-time world champion in singles, and with the Swedish team, 8 years, consecutive years, they won the world championships. Oh, he was lucky now that he didn't get a warning for that. It was unnecessary to throw the racket. Would never have reached that. And one more point.
Well, for the moment, it definitely stays within striking distance.
Nice shot.
Too good, too good.
He's a left-hander, dangerous. I think Magnus' aim must be to take 10 points. Then it's even, and then he has pretty good chances to win the match. His squash is still outstanding. And tennis, I'm not sure that Nicolas is much better than him.
Yeah, especially if you get into a close situation. Nice play, great rally. Oh, wow, that almost went over the net.
Was unlucky, unlucky. Badminton is probably the toughest for him. I mean, you must imagine. He's not the youngest anymore.
Well, what made him come to Austria for this tournament?
It's a funny story. As I said, I was in Sweden and Stockholm in January. And I met him because we became friends a long time ago. And I said, come on, let's play a practice match. Let's just see how good you are still. And then, you know, I let him win closely.
Oh, well done. Yeah, you're a gentleman.
So I knew if I let him win, he'll get hot. And I told him, you must come back on the World Tour for one more tournament. And I promised him a wild card for Austrian Open because he's out of the rankings, so normally he can't even get into the tournament. But I promised him a wild card, and then the Corona thing came. And then he called me in summer, it must have been August, and said, listen Marcel, I've been practicing, but it's too hard for me. I can't play 4 matches in a row. Forget the wild card, I can't come. It's too much for me. And I said, Magnus, listen to me. This is gonna be the most peculiar tournament ever. It's gonna be so special because we have live stream, and with the whole Corona, only 16 players. Make this tournament the last tournament in your career. And think about it. I said, I don't need to think. If you tell me to come, I'm coming.
Nice. And here he is in Austria, in Graz, Styria, as we go to the changeover at badminton at a score of 11 points to 3.
Kom igen nu, Mag. Well, in the meantime, the lead is pretty high now for Lenggenhager. I think he got into the game pretty well. And it looks as if he's secure. Magnus will need a couple of more points. And he'll do everything to get them.
Short updates from the bronze medal game in the doubles. Kuba Abrami up in the lead. They won the table tennis 21-19, badminton 21-18. And in squash, they're up by 9 points, leading 18 points to 9. Oh, wow. Great defensive work, but Lenggenhager, he seems to be on fire now. Seeing his chance, of course. Feels like he's getting used to the style of play. Oh! I don't know if you heard that shout at home, but Eliasson is on on the march like a wild Viking.
He said, important point. He needs every point. Not to forget, he's still sponsored by Babolat. He was the first player in the world who was sponsored as a racquetball player. And he was also the first player who at least won the most prize money and at least could cover all his costs by playing racquetball. And what I forgot to mention today, Marcus, you must believe, his home is the court. He's on court every day. But what a point. But he practices with others. He's a coach, but he's not only a coach, he's a mental coach for sportsmen.
Okay. So that actually explains quite a lot. Oh, look at that reach. Beautiful. No way, what a rally. Now
Nice
this is
shot.
what we want to see. Beautiful stuff from both athletes. With a better end for Lenggenhager in this case, but that was great play.
Unlucky. I really look forward, Marcus, to the squash match. I played him in squash in January, and I'm telling you, I was chanceless. And squash is still his best sport.
That sounds very dangerous. A short update from the bronze medal game in doubles. Kuba Abrami are going into the final set of tennis with 15 points plus. So all they need is 7 points to win the bronze medal, and I think that's going to be very, very hard for the youngsters Halker and Grafeneder to avoid, but we'll keep you updated, and you're not going to miss out on anything. Live streams on all matches here at the GRAWE side-by-side 14th Austrian Open Super World Tour Finals, and of course the Victoria Awards Men's Award still having a night session with the last game starting at 10 p.m, which sees Lenggenhager and Silvan Ternon.
Very, very unlucky. It was excellent play by Magnus. He had him under pressure. Well, anyway, Marcus, I'll take the chance meanwhile to thank our funding partners, Sports Ministry from Austria, City of Graz, and the County of Styria, who made this event possible. And of course our main sponsor, GRAWE, our equipment sponsor, Babolat, draw sponsors, Victoria Awards, beverage sponsor, Coca-Cola, center court sponsor, Simona and Shader. Hope I mentioned them all now.
Yes, quite a number of sponsors you need to get an event like this going, especially in times like these. I was very impressed by the safety precautions that have been taken, like the daily corona test, and everybody being very, very disciplined in this bubble to make sure that we can actually be part of the GRAWE side-by-side 14th Austrian Open.
Yeah, the costs cannot be underestimated. You know, the total budget is 30,000 euro. And especially this year, the main costs are the corona tests, the Red Cross, the doctor, and so forth. By the way, there's also prize money. Did you know, Marcus?
Of course I know, but I don't know the exact amount. So I'm hoping you're going to tell me what sums we're talking about.
21-7, the set is over now. But Magnus still has good chances. Not a problem for him.
Yeah, but you were going for 10 points that he needs, and now it's 7, so that might end up in a very close score.
-3, everything as well. What you wanted to know about the prize money? Well, actually, since this year